Year. Happy January 2019. Before we get started with your reading, I just wanted to say a few quick things to not waste your time. One thing is that for this month in January, I'm going to be doing all of your general readings in the beginning of the month, and then I'm going to be doing your bonus readings in mid-month, probably by the 15th or 16th. And I noticed when looking at the analytics on my channel that a lot of the time periods that people have been viewing these for is for like 10 to 15 minutes. And I know not all of you do that. I do have a loyal following now that actually watches these things all the way through. But for those of you that are wanting something quicker than this and a little bit more specific, I'm going to be putting out love readings separately and career readings separately. If those do well over time, I may start going into health readings as well, but that would break them up into about 10 minutes each. And so for those of you with short attention spans, you should probably be watching the mid-month readings. These readings, because they're general and in-depth for the month, they tend to be about a half an hour long, not including the beginning and end. Also, I wanted to say thank you so much for viewing these, liking these, subscribing, saying all of your wonderful comments. I read every single one, and I really enjoy the feedback and the appreciation, and I'm going to continue with this channel. So I just wanted to thank you and say how wonderful you guys are. And another thing is that if you would like to donate to my channel, which I surely could appreciate it, I've been doing this for about 6 months now, and I haven't really made any money at all off of this yet. It's a labor of love, so I don't mind doing these because I know that eventually this will build up where I'll have more people watching them and I'll eventually be able to make some money. But if you do feel like donating, I would really appreciate it, and the link is going to be down below in the description box. Also, the last thing I'm going to say before I let you go and not waste your time is that at the end of all of these general movies, there is a end credit section that gives you my email, says little messages from me, any information you might need to know about private readings. I did notice that I have been getting a few comments where people ask me if I do private readings. All that information is at the end credits, at the end of each video. There's usually music and some kind of a video that should be fun to watch. I also wanted to mention my daughter, because my daughter has been learning from me how to use Windows Movie Maker, and she actually has at least 0.5% influence on the end credits. So my daughter has actually been filming the movies, helping me pick out music for them, helping me put in the text, and helping me to go through the whole process. And so when you're watching the end credits, a lot of it is actually from my 11-year-old daughter, and they're extremely quick, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal to watch them. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Many blessings for the new year, and next will be your reading. Bye. Hello, Capricorn. This is going to be your general reading for January 2019. And this is for Capricorn Rising, Capricorn Sun, and Capricorn Moon. This is my little puppy, by the way. He decided to say hi. I hope you guys are well. These are coming out a little bit later than I expected because I've been having computer issues with the signal where I live. We got pounded with snow over the past couple of weeks, and I think somehow, I don't know how, it interferes with the signal. Anyway, I'm going to show you your basic spread for January before I get started. As usual, for this month, I am using the Spiral Tarot deck for your basic cards, your basic layout. And this month in January, I am using the Brian Froud Fairy deck for your clarifiers. These are really fun to work with. I like these, except for that card. Let's give you a different one. This is a better example. So there's all different kinds of fairies in here. I'm in kind of a strange mood today, not in a bad way, but if I seem odd, that's the reason why. So here we go. For your central experience for January, you have the 10 of Pentacles. Your challenge this month is the Fool. What is helping you is the King of Swords. At the core of your being, you have the Wheel of Fortune. In the recent past, or what you're coming away from, you have the Three of Wands. As your best possible outcome, this is a really nice one. You have, oh, I'm sorry. I guess you were supposed to see that. You have the fairy that was kissed by the pixies. This is one of the loveliest fairy cards you can really get. But what I was really shooting for was this. Still a really good combination to have. As your best possible outcome, you have the Chariot. What you are going towards, or in your near future, you have the Eight of Wands. Right now, you are the Four of Swords. In your surroundings, you have your Court card. This is the Queen of Pentacles. This is one of the Capricorn cards. As your fear, you have the Two of Swords. And as your general outcome, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. Your first combination is wonderful for your central experience, but there's a lot of information in it. And so just to build up the courage to get that in depth concerning this, I am going to go drink some tea, and I'll be right back. Hello again. Just needed that little boost there. Just so you know, my dog is on the floor chewing on a bone, so if you hear strange noises, that's what that is. Okay. This is an amazing combination, you guys. As your central experience for January, you have the 10 of Pentacles, and with the Bright Mother and the Fairy Godmother, which every single sign has been getting the Fairy Godmother. And even stranger than that, just statistic-wise, this is almost a miracle here. Not only that, pretty much 80% of the signs so far have been getting the Fairy Godmother with their central experience in this first position here. And about, I don't know, the other percentage of it, maybe 2 or 3 signs have gotten it down below in the core position, which I find extremely fascinating. So it seems as though in January, the Fairy Godmother is showing up for everyone and is extremely active at this time. Maybe there's some kind of convention of Fairy Godmothers that's happening in January. But this combination here, let me break it down for you quickly. This can be considered the harvest card of the fullest height of the harvest, which is shared by everyone in the family and in the community. I like this deck's version of this because it reminds me of family gatherings. Things like weddings, funerals, potlucks, baby showers, announcements in the family that brings everyone together, or simply harvest time when everyone pools together their resources, whether it's the fruits from their labor at harvest time and shares it with one another, which creates abundance not only for yourself, but for the entire family or the entire community. This can be looked at as blood family, as in your extended family, not just your parents and your children, but also aunts, uncles, cousins, second cousins, third cousins. This is why this always reminds me of family reunions. This can also represent communities that feel like family. Obviously, if you're someone who comes from a very large extended family, then this may very well have to do with your actual family. If you come from an extremely strong family, a small family, or your family is at a distance, this can also be community members, friends, and people that you know that feel like family. And so this could be considered gatherings of friends, gatherings of people in the community to celebrate the harvest together. Your second one is the bright mother, which is an aspect of the divine feminine. This is the aspect of the divine feminine that is the mother. It's the nurturer, it's the giver, it's the unconditional love person that you go to for nurturing, especially emotional nurturing. Obviously, not all mothers are bright and wise and good. We all, as human beings, have completely different relationships with our mothers or how our mothers nurtured us. But regardless of whatever your own experience of your own mother was, this bright mother is the epitome of unconditional love, giving, and nurturing. And with the fairy godmother, I'm just going to throw a whole lot of stuff out there. Okay. The first thing I'm going to throw out there is about the eclipses. You guys, you Capricorns, are having a solar eclipse coming up in your sign. Actually, it's along, I think it's the solar eclipse. So it's the sun in Capricorn and the full moon in Cancer. We just had a lunar eclipse, or a new moon lunar eclipse, about on the 5th or 6th, I think. We had that one already. And so I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but basically the eclipses determine in astrology the north and south node. The north node is where we're headed and where we're supposed to be reaching towards, or is considered our higher path. And the south node is what we're familiar with already, that we're trying to balance out with the north node. And for the next 2 years, this month, January, is the beginning of this eclipse north node, south node season for you guys, because it directly involves you. The north node is going to be in Cancer for the next two years, and the south node is in Capricorn. And so this month, January, is a huge turning point that is an example for the very beginning of this long-term 2-year cycle you guys are about to go through. Because Capricorn is on the south node, that means that you guys are fully going to be in touch with yourselves, but if you get to Capricorn, you're going to feel heavier and heavier, and things are going to become harder for you. If you choose to balance out your own energy with your opposite, which is Cancer, which is the higher path for everyone on the planet for the next 2 years, then things will become easier and easier for you, or you'll feel as though you're moving forward or you're evolving. And so if you happen to be a Capricorn person who has planets in Cancer, or if you're a full moon baby where you may be a Capricorn sun with a Cancer moon, then this won't be too difficult for you because you already contain Cancer energy within yourself. All you need to know is to go towards those planets more than focusing on the planets that you have in Capricorn. That being said, this is directly relating to that for me, where this is saying you are about to embark on a 2-year journey that has to do with nurturing, learning how to nurture yourself more, nurture others more, and to allow yourself to be nurtured. The archetype of Capricorn is all about hard work and reaching your goals, but that can sometimes be a lonely thing if you don't have a family or people that you love to go home to after the long day of hard work is over. If you guys are familiar with having goals or working hard towards your goals, but there can be an empty feeling if you find yourself working all the time and then you go home to nothing. And so this is telling you that starting this month, because the fairy godmother is in here, this is saying you are going to be blessed with this journey if you fully embrace it, of honoring your sensitive self, honoring your need for nurturing, honoring your need to nurture. And you may even, for some of you, have gotten to a place, if you don't have this already, where you're realizing you may want to have children, or you may want to become a parent, or you may want to focus more on creating a family for yourself, or spend more time with your children if you already have children, or to spend more time with your families or people that you consider family. Basically, I see you reaching out and wanting to devote more of your time towards nurturing relationships with others in general, with children, with family, with community. And some of you may have already started a family, or you're about to have a child. That's another aspect in here. The family may be gathering together to celebrate over the birth of a child, or to gather together for a baby shower, or you're realizing that this is what you want in your life more, and so the fairy godmother is helping you to bring this in. Your mother herself may be going through some kind of a fortunate thing right now, or she may be extremely happy or excited about something going on in the family. If you haven't spoken to your mother in a while, you may want to call her. And if you happen to have a a Capricorn moon, your moon is in its detriment, which means that most likely you may have had an experience of the mother that was difficult, or your mother may have been extremely strict, or not very nurturing, or you somehow felt smothered by your mother. And this is also speaking to me of being re-mothered. If you didn't have the greatest experience with the mother, with the divine, that aspect of the divine feminine, this is saying that a chance for you is opening up to be re-mothered, to attract people in your life that are extremely nurturing and kind, and that can re-mother you in a way where you're able to experience that type of nurturance that you didn't necessarily receive. If you happen to be a Capricorn rising, then this means that the North Node in Cancer is most likely probably going to be in your 7th house of partnerships, and which means marriages, committed partnerships, partnerships of all kinds. And it may be that the North Node entering your 7th house is bringing you to an ideal partner that you can start a family with, or that you want to nurture your relationships in general more. And the more you allow this nurturing to happen, the more you allow yourself to be nurtured, the more of this you will see come into existence in your life, and you won't feel quite so alone anymore. If you have felt lonely or loneliness, or if you have felt as though you don't have this, there is a very good opportunity happening right now through your fairy godmother for you to bring this into being where you don't feel so alone anymore. You want more connections. And so this is being brought into being for you. We'll leave that there. Oh, I'm not going to leave the Capricorn suns out. If you happen to be a Capricorn sun, then this is saying you are learning how to be more this you are learning how to be this more yourself in how you behave, because your sun is how you express yourself. Because Saturn is in Capricorn right now, and because Pluto has been in Capricorn for quite some time now, you guys, if you handle things more from your Capricorn side, you're going to feel extremely heavy, and you're going through major transformations. You have been going through major transformations for quite some time now, but now you're becoming more aware of what work you need to do, or you may be becoming more aware of your own sense of responsibility, where you're feeling more responsible for things than ever before. Or you're realizing you need to work on yourself more. And so this will be your fairy godmother force. This is what's going to help you and ease the way and help things to become so much lighter for you and less hard, is by focusing on your connections with other people and by allowing yourself to be nurtured and surrounding yourself with nurturing. And to become softer in how you behave, to allow yourself to be soft, or balance out your hard edges with some softness. So, your challenge is the Fool with the Rar. And the Rar is exactly that. It represents wild, uncontrollable, motivating energy. It could be thought of as a roaring engine, or you're roaring to get moving, to see things move forward, to go forward yourself. Perhaps you've been pouring a lot of your energy into a new beginning in your life, whether you've already started this new beginning or you're thinking of starting this new beginning. And this new beginning does have something to do with a leap of faith, where you just have to have faith that you're headed in the right direction or that things will unfold. But there's something about this. Your challenge is you feel you're not moving as forward as you would like, or you're ready, you're impatient, you are roaring to move forward, you are ready for this thing to begin, but something about it may be delayed, or may be slowed down, or you may be trying to get up the courage to move forward or to take a leap of faith or some kind of risk. You are supposed to go towards this dream that you have, which is represented by the cup in the air that's glowing that the Fool is looking at. He wants that cup, and he's willing to move forward towards that dream or that cup. And your challenge may be that you have alternate feelings between feeling pumped and ready to go and ready to step forward, and then other times where you hold yourself back, or you may have a lack of courage. It's one or the other, or swinging from one to the other. And so to me, I'm getting an intense feeling of frustration from this, where you're ready, you want this, or you have begun this, but something about it is not happening fast enough for you, or it could be that your challenge is getting up the energy to do this. So that's your challenge. That doesn't mean that you're doomed to have that continue. It just means you're working on regulating your trust or your faith or your own bravery to move forward and just do something, or have something move. This is interesting. What's helping you is the King of Swords. The clarifier for him is the Soul Shrinker. And so the Soul Shrinker, I always feel bad for whenever I see this card, because I know the story behind it. The story behind it is that the Soul Shrinker was once a beautiful fairy that was filled with love and wanted to be of service to the world. And one of the ways he wanted to go into service was to help human beings, which is pretty rare for a fairy. Generally, they tend to stick to themselves, and they don't necessarily do things for other people. Some of them do, like the house brownie. But the Soul Shrinker was the equivalent to a bodhisattva, which is a being that goes into service to help other people. And his particular service ended up becoming having to listen to all of the negative and ugly things that people say to one another or about one another or even think about one another. The soul shrinker exemplifies somebody who speaks ill of others or overly negatively criticizes others or slanders others or thinks badly of someone else. This represents curses, as in cursing someone else or being cursed. And also it can represent how we curse ourselves by giving ourselves a hard time, by thinking negative thoughts about oneself. When someone else is thinking negative thoughts about you or saying negative things about you, the only way it's really going to affect you is if you allow it to. You can always choose not to take that on and to allow that to roll right off you, in which case it ends up bouncing back onto the person that it came from, just naturally. But the hard thing about cursing yourself is that it's more accurate in its ability to do something negative to you. If it's coming from you towards yourself, you can't bounce it off as well as if it's coming from another. But to me, with the King of Swords in here, this is telling me that you're possibly noticing this in your environment, or you're becoming very stern and strong about how you will not allow this in your life, and especially towards your loved ones. While you're out and about, or you're at work, or you're doing your Capricorn thing, your ears are pricked up, and if you start hearing even just the tone of the soul shrinker, where you're having a normal conversation with someone and all of a sudden they start saying really negative things about someone else, what is helping you is to stand up to that person and be the King of Swords and say, hey, what you're doing right now is not okay. I will not allow this energy into my environment. If you're going to stand here and say something negative about another person, I'm out of here. It's basically calling it out. And I don't know what this has to do with. You probably know more than me if this even applies to you. But if this does apply to you, then this is your role you should be taking. This is the Capricorn role that's okay for you to play right now, especially with Saturn and Pluto in your sign, is you will not tolerate this. You cannot tolerate this. And if no one else is going to call this out, you have to take up the sword of truth and do it yourself. And so whether this is somebody who is speaking negatively about people that you love, or about your family, or about certain people in your community, obviously anyone who has this sort of attitude isn't good for a community, isn't good for a family, and isn't good for people to work together. It's almost a saboteur of people being able to share with one another. This could be someone speaking negatively about your own mother, or about a partner that they have who's a mother of their children. They're speaking ill of them. Or someone speaking ill of your own ability to have good things happen to you in your life, or to have good things happen to loved ones in their lives. Whatever this is, it's your job, and what is helping you is to stand up to this and call it out and say you will not tolerate this and you will not allow this to be in your environment. If for some very odd reason a small percentage of you have been finding yourself doing this, then it's time to knock it off, and you know that, and that's what's helping you, is to step more into integrity. That's for a very small few of you, if any, but it does need to be said. So this is what's helping you. It is perfectly fine to stand up and speak against this, or to tell them to knock it off. Now, this is really specific, but it did come to mind. If for some reason one of you has to deal with a court issue, if it has something to do with court, whoever you're up against, if they have been being overly negative or overly ugly or overly cruel in the things that they have been doing or saying, the judge involved is going to see right through it and is going to call them out on it, and a decision may very well end up being decided because of this energy. So if you do have to deal with someone who has an ugly mind like this, or an ugly attitude, and if it does have something to do with someone else having to decide something, whether it's court and involving a judge, or even a matriarch in the family that's standing up to this and making the final decision, if this has been going on, it's going to end up kicking itself in the butt. So this is what's helping you. At your root, you have the Wheel of Fortune with the Fairy of Inspiration, who is called Penelope Dreamweaver. And so if you have been going towards your goals and going towards your dreams and doing your best to move forward in your life, this says that the fates are on your side with this. And you should start to feel a change go on within yourself. The Wheel of Fortune ultimately is change. The wheel is always turning. It hardly ever stops or stays still. And so I see you as either at your very core of your being becoming so much more in tune with your dreams and your visions and your inspirations, and choosing to move forward with these things, or if you have already become aware of your dreams and inspirations and you've been doing your best to express them and to bring them into being, the Wheel of Fortune is going to be helping you to bring these things into being. You will receive good luck with your inspirations. And this is reminding me of the fairy godmother here. I almost feel as though the fairy godmother in this Wheel of Fortune or the fates, your fairy godmother, and your own fairy of inspiration are all working together for you in your life at this time. And it's really up to you to just fully open yourself up to this and allow this to happen. When you're on the table of a healer, like if you're getting a massage, or if you're having acupuncture done on you, or if you are going to any number of different kinds of healers, first of all, you have to trust the healer that you go to. After you find one that you trust or think is good at what they do, or they're very professional at what they do, part of healing or part of receiving healing is not just having it done to you, it's also to completely relax yourself and allow the work to be done on you. You have to lay down and relax every muscle in your body and allow the healing to take place. If you resist it in any way, or if you feel uncomfortable or you tense up, even though the healing will still work on you, it won't work as well on you. So I am getting something in here about you being receptive enough or relaxed enough to be able to allow yourself to open up to this healing energy that's happening. And so in the recent past, or what you're coming away from, you have the Three of Wands in with the Master Maker. The Master Maker always reminds me of you guys, because it's the Master Maker. He is the elven master of magical objects that he creates at his forge or in his workshop. The Master Maker does not become a master without constantly pushing himself to get better and better and better at what he does. He can always make something better than the last time. He can always spend that little extra bit of energy on what he's doing to make sure that it's the best possible job he can do. The Master Maker has a sign over his workshop that says, "Practical problems solved here." He's all about solving problems. He's all about finding a solution. He's all about doing the best that he can to ensure that he's doing the best possible job. And this is how he's considered a master by others. The Master Maker, the fairy himself, makes magical swords of truth. He makes fine nets that are as strong as iron and as fine as silk. He creates jeweled tiaras that when you put them on transform you and make you into something that you never thought you would be. It's fine art. It's fine work. And with this, you have the Three of Wands. So this is telling me you have perfected your craft. You have done your best. You have done your best and you've put it out there. And you've been waiting for a positive response back. Or you did get a positive response back and now you're waiting for your ships to come in. Or you're waiting for new opportunities to come to you based off of your hard work and the things that you have done your best in creating. It feels as though you've been waiting, or you know that this is coming, you just don't know when it's coming. It might come tomorrow, it might come 2 months down the line, who knows? But you have been expectantly waiting for a good response based off of all your hard work. So this is where you've been, or you have seen growth, you have seen abundance, or you have seen new opportunities come your way because of this attitude or because you've been doing this. Your best possible outcome is the Chariot and the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. The fairy who was kissed by the pixies is the fairy of love. She's the fairy of all different kinds of love. Familial love, friendship love, romantic love, love between parent and child, all different kinds of love, conditional love, unconditional love. And she radiates with that love. She's beaming a beautiful, radiant smile that can't help but be contagious to anybody who looks at her smile. They all have to smile back. When you feel a surge of joy or of love in your heart, you can't help but smile. It's just something that automatically happens. And so this could be so many things. Your best possible outcome ultimately, though, is to go towards what you love, or to go towards more loving situations, to go towards love. You may be going on some kind of a trip to go visit someone that you love dearly. You may have fallen in love with someone who lives at a distance away from you, and so you have to, as your best possible outcome, you would have to go visit them or choose to possibly relocate to be near them, or they would relocate to be near you. That's one option. But your basic drives these days and your basic impetus on how you move forward should be to go towards love in all of its different forms. That's your best possible outcome. Or your focus is on love. That's what makes life meaningful. More than anything you could physically do. Making sure that this love exists in your life and that you bring more of it out or go towards it more is the best possible thing you can do for yourself. And in the near future, coming up for you, you have the 8 of Wands in with Luathas the Wild, and this is very direct to me. This is saying things are speeding towards you. You are about to see a huge force come into your life that speeds things up dramatically. With the 8 of Wands, you may have a whole lot of opportunities or messages speeding your way. And with Luathas the Wild, who rules wild energy that can't be contained, that must move forward or must leap or must jump, this is also telling me that things are dramatically speeding up. Action is happening in the future. This is reminding me of what you're coming away from. You were waiting, you knew good things were to come because you worked so hard. How could they not come? And it looks like they're coming. They're coming speedily towards you. They're jumping at you. And so if you have had some kind of a frustrating influence go on as your challenge where you're ready to go, why isn't it here yet? Or why aren't things moving forward as fast as you would like, or where's your energy that you need to move forward. It's here. It's coming very soon in January, not 2 months down the line. This is this month. You may even see this speeding up thing happen around the next eclipse for you. That's around the 20th or the 21st of January. So leading up to the eclipse, you should really be focusing on what you would like to see speeding towards you. If you don't give the universe some specific message on what exactly you are expecting or you would like to see, they may give you some wild cards. They may give you some things that you weren't expecting at all, which may turn out to be a blessing in disguise. But a lot is headed your way. You may have to seize the opportunities as they arise. You may need to jump on them before they speed just as fast out of your life as they came into it. Out of all of these opportunities that are headed your way, some may be hidden jewels that you need to jump on. Other ones may be duds. And so even though you have to think fast on your feet, make sure that your mind is working just as fast. What should be your guiding force on what you jump on is whether or not you love it. If you see all of these opportunities and logistically some of them look great, but your heart's not really in it or you're not drawn to it, you don't love it, you should be going for the things that you are ecstatically excited about, that might bring more warmth into what you do or what you're doing with yourself. So that looks amazing. You right now have the Singer of Intuition in with the Four of Swords. It may be that your intuition is telling you that before things start to speed up, you may want to take this extra time you have now to rest. You may need to rest to build up your reserves of energy so that when this speeding up process does happen, you'll be able to be light on your toes and think fast because your brain will be thinking because you rested. So you may need to sleep more. You may need to take care of your body more. You may need to eat better foods. Just if you find yourself with less energy than usual, which is possibly one of your challenges this month, pay attention to what your body's telling you. You may just need to accept that and rest instead of trying to push yourself. Because before you know it, things are speedily flying towards you. And when the time comes, you're going to want that energy. So you might as well save it now. Your intuition may be telling you that if you don't rest, you may get sick. And so it's important for you to rest. Another way I could read this is if you have been working on developing your intuition. What helps your intuition to speak louder to you is to find those quiet moments when your mind is still. With things like meditation, when you are meditating, it's not that you're forcing your mind not to have thoughts at all, because sometimes that's impossible. The whole goal is to allow the thoughts to pass in and out freely without hanging on to any of those thoughts or dwelling on any of those thoughts or clinging to any of those thoughts. It's just simply to, again, I'm getting something in here about relaxing all of your muscles, relaxing your mind, relaxing your breathing, so that your body and your mind can relax fully in order to receive healing, or in order to receive inspiration or an intuition. Your intuition will come to you more clearly if you relax and breathe deeply and take those moments to just not necessarily focus on or think about anything. In those moments of stillness is oftentimes when things well up into our consciousness that we need to become aware of. So, in your surroundings, I like this. It's you in with Mickle Muckle, who's the fairy of play, joy, fun, joking, and laughter. and being silly and not taking things so seriously. So again, doesn't she look so relaxed, the Queen of Pentacles? She looks completely relaxed. If she was any more relaxed, she wouldn't even be wearing sandals. Is she wearing sandals? Yep. No. She's barefoot. She's barefoot. She has her bare foot up on some kind of like a little ledge that's next to her. Or maybe she's got her foot on the armrest of her chair. She looks completely relaxed and open at her core. Her foot's raised up. She's got her foot elevated. She's relaxed in her beautiful garden, enjoying the sounds of nature, the birds singing, butterflies passing by. She's got her goat with her. She just looks completely comfortable and happy in her surroundings. And mixed in with the laughter and the joking and the play, this just looks wonderful. This looks like you're taking time in your surroundings to enjoy your surroundings, to enjoy where you're at right now, at this very moment, to treasure each moment, to not think so much about the future or about goals for the future that you forget to enjoy the moment right now, right here and now. This is taking the time to smell the flowers. This is taking the time to enjoy the silliness of life and to laugh things off. If you start to feel too serious or too responsible, or like you're not being good enough, or you're not whatever enough, just take the time to realize how amazing you are and how far you've come already and what you've done already. And to be light on yourself, to joke around, to joke with yourself. Yeah. To be this for others as well, to be a good example for others in your surroundings, that this is what life is all about. What is the point of giving yourself a hard time, or of being critical, or of even having to, stand around and listen to people like this, or energy like this, or even just the tone of this? What's helping you? You can kind of imagine it this way. This King of Swords is secretly the Queen of Pentacles. This is the role that she has to take on concerning the soul shrinker, or concerning this negativity. When she has to, she'll pick up her sword, or he will pick up his sword, and address this in a way that the soul shrinkers, well, not even the soul shrinker, I feel bad for the soul shrinker. The things that the soul shrinker has to listen to. It almost seems to me like he's being protective of the soul shrinker. He's saying, enough. Quit it. Can't you understand that this is making the once beautiful fairy uglier and uglier, and more hopeless, and more depressed at having to listen to you? You need to quit it so that we can help the soul shrinker become beautiful again. The soul shrinkers needs a break. And so the Queen of Pentacles, after she's had those situations and dealt with that, that's when she takes her armor off and she goes and sits in her garden and cracks a joke. Says, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just had to do that. Ooh, now I can just relax. Or after the King of Swords has kicked out the things that causes the soul shrinker to be ugly, that's when she can relax, because it's no longer in the environment anymore. She doesn't have to listen to it anymore. Now she can listen to people being silly. So this is really clear and simple. Your fears are of remaining stuck. Remaining stuck in your own mind, or not knowing if anything is ever going to happen, or knowing even what to say or what to choose or what to do. Your fears of remaining stuck in this position. Your hope is for trust, joy, creativity, hope, miracles. This is the singer of the chalice. Again, this is an aspect of the divine feminine, which is reminding me of, where is it? The Bright Mother. the fairy who is kissed by the pixies, the fairy godmother, even the fates, the triple goddess fates that rule the wheel of fortune, or even Penelope Dreamweaver. All these are aspects of the divine feminine. All of these forces, and the North Node in Cancer, is what your hope is. You're hoping for more of the waters of life to fill up your cup. And this is an aspect of the divine masculine, by the way. But your aspect of the divine masculine, which is Capricorn, or ruled by Saturn, even though it's a feminine sign because it's an earth sign. Saturn, your ruler, rules things like starvation, rules things like not having enough water. The reason why he works so hard and has such a need to provide for the family is because he knows what things are like when you don't have enough or you don't have what you need. He's willing to work really hard in order to ensure that people have what they need, or that the bright mother has what she needs so that she can do her job of nurturing. He makes sure that everyone has bacon on the table, or everyone has good clothes to wear, or snow boots in the snow, or raincoats in the rain. His hard work is towards that nurturing of the family, of making sure that they have what they need. But he can't just do his job without receiving the waters of life, without receiving the same exact nurturing that he is working so hard towards bringing what they need to themselves. You need this nurturing, you need this love, you need this meaning. It's what's meaningful in life. It's opening your arms up to receive. It's recognizing the fact that you do have a right to receive good things. Not everything has to come through hard work. Sometimes you don't have to work hard at all. Sometimes all you have to do is relax and be open to receiving good things, and they will come. So this is what your hope is for more of this. As your general outcome, you have the Ace of Pentacles in with the Maiden. This is a double message here. This is a message of a beautiful new beginning in your life that is being brought into being, that will continue to be nurtured, fed, loved, and to be able to grow in your life. This is directly reminding me of the Bright Mother. The Bright Mother is the mother of the Maiden. She is the mother of this child. This is her beloved baby that she spends so much of her creative, loving energy on nurturing and making sure that her baby grows. But again, some of you may be having some of you may be starting a family. Some of you may be becoming parents. Some of you may be realizing that this is what you want, or you're ready for this now. Or it could be you already have a family, you already have children, in which case this is what you want to focus more of your energy on now, is on softness, nurturing, loving, giving, in order to make sure that this brand new, beautiful seed continues to grow and continues to flower and unfold into its best possible healthy form. And if this doesn't have to do with actual children or families or anything, this is a new dream, this is a new business, this is a new way, a new location. This is a brand new beginning in your life that has to do with what you create what you manifest in your everyday reality for yourself. And you are ready to nurture this seed. You're ready to take care of it. And this is also assuring you that this seed is not going to die, that this baby isn't going to stop growing. This has started and it is going to continue to grow. And it is up to you to decide to go with love, to share that love with the people that you love, to make sure that the people that you love are sharing their love with you, that everyone is sharing. and that your fairy godmother is helping you with this whole thing. And I feel as though your fairy godmother is really smiling on you with this. It is kind of fun to watch the tough billy goats become softies, I have to say. And the fairy godmother almost has a twinkle in her eye over this. You know, you Capricorns are so serious at times and take your jobs so seriously and are so responsible and take your responsibilities so seriously. It's so fun to see you allowing yourself to be nurtured, or allowing yourself to become soft and nurturing yourself. So I wish you all the best. Don't forget about putting your intentions out there for the eclipse on what you would like to see unfold over the next 2 years. And till next time, I wish you all the best. I love you, and see you soon.